With the introduction of the new M3 MacBook Pros, Apple's laptop family is finally finding coherence this year. Consider this: since the transition to Apple Silicon chips, the company has been managing older laptop designs originally developed for Intel chips alongside a few modern designs. This year, things seem to have settled. We have the redesigned MacBook Air 13-inch from last year, which received positive reviews. Additionally, there's the newly introduced 15-inch MacBook Air this year, albeit a bit belated. Earlier this year, we also saw the M2 MacBook Pros, which I found favourable. However, these new M3 chip models appear to be a clear indication of Apple's future direction. The most significant change this year, honestly, is something Apple didn't emphasise much. They've officially discontinued the 13-inch MacBook Pro, a model I reviewed last year and dubbed Pro in name only. I disliked it for its sluggish performance, outdated Intel design, and the fact that the MacBook Air from last year looked much better. Now in its place, we have a 14-inch model of the MacBook Pro, priced at $1,599, making it the most affordable that model has ever been. This makes it more accessible to a broader audience. With the introduction of this cheaper 14-inch MacBook Pro, it seems like Apple's entire MacBook Pro line is now explicitly targeted at professionals. In contrast, I believe the 13-inch model was confusing and not a wise purchase for anyone. Apple's lineup is now crystal clear. By focusing on professionals, Apple also appears to redefine what it means to be a professional. However, the 14-inch MacBook Pro priced at $1,599 can be a bit perplexing. It features the lower-powered M3 chip, but is limited to only 8GB of RAM, which doesn't strike me as particularly professional. Apple also removed one USB-C port on the right side for the base M3 models, limiting the computer's capabilities. Another noteworthy point is that the base M3 MacBook Pro 14-inch can only output to one external display. No multi-monitor support. Therefore, this seems like an interesting but somewhat restrictive machine, and that's why I'm not inclined to recommend the base $1,599 model. I would suggest investing a bit more and opting for 16GB of RAM. If you're keen on a multi-monitor setup, you'll need an M3 Pro system starting at $1,999. To unlock the full potential of the M3 Pro chip with a 12-core CPU and 18-core GPU, you'll need to go for the $2,399 model. For demanding users, there's the $399 M3 Max 14-inch model with a 14-core CPU and a 30-core GPU. The pricing remains unchanged for the 16-inch MacBook Pro, starting at $2,499, designed for more demanding users. This year introduces a space black color option, which in my opinion appears more like charcoal grey than true space black. It employs a new anodization process that reduces fingerprints, and based on my testing, it indeed worked. I noticed fewer greasy fingerprints compared to the Midnight MacBook Air or any of Razer's laptops. However, the downside is that this color option is not available on the base M3 model for the 14-inch MacBook Pro, which seems a bit peculiar. If you desire this color, you'll need to opt for the M3 Pro. Externally, the MacBook Pros haven't undergone any changes, maintaining the sleek design introduced 2 years ago with the Apple Silicon chips. This design is elegant with a beautiful metal finish, distinguishing it from many powerful PC laptops. Importantly, these laptops boast Apple's best screens, the Liquid Retina displays. This year, they offer an extra 100 nits of brightness for SDR content, making them more suitable for outdoor use. They also feature Apple's ProMotion technology, supporting up to 120 Hz refresh rates, a significant upgrade over the MacBook Air. For context, we are reviewing these computers together because they are essentially the same machine, with one being slightly larger. Here are the key specifications you should keep in mind. The 14-inch MacBook Pro weighs just 3.5 pounds, not significantly more than the MacBook Air. On the other hand, the 16-inch model weighs 4.7 pounds, noticeably heavier. This makes it less convenient to carry around and fit into various spaces. For my purposes, a 14-inch system suffices. If you're concerned about size differences, I recommend visiting a store and getting hands-on experience, as the 16-inch model is notably large. In our review, we tested the 14-inch MacBook Pro with an M3 chip and 16GB of RAM, as well as the fully decked-out 16-inch model with the M3 Max chip, 128GB of RAM, and an 8TB SSD. It's worth noting that this is the most powerful system I've ever tested. During testing, there were no surprises. The M3 chip excels at productivity work, building on the capabilities of the M1 and M2. In our benchmarks, both the M3 and M3 Max models showed slight improvements over the M2 variants and significant gains over the M1 chips. A notable improvement is in gaming, as the M3 chips introduce real-time ray tracing and other high-end GPU features. Although I didn't extensively test these features, I played a few surprising games on the Mac platform, such as Lies of P, a recent game that performed smoothly on the 14-inch MacBook Pro with the M3. Regarding ports, the MacBook Pros offer a comprehensive selection. Every model includes 3 USB-C ports except for the base M3 model, which has 2. Additionally, there's a full-size HDMI port and an SD card slot, catering to professionals, photographers and tech bloggers engaged in photo editing. Battery life has improved compared to previous MacBook Pros. The 14-inch model lasted 24 hours and 30 minutes in our benchmark, while the 16-inch model lasted 24 hours and 50 minutes. Although these numbers may not represent real-world usage, in my experience I could go about 2 days without needing to recharge the computers. It's essential to mention that Apple didn't provide us with the base $1,599 M3 MacBook model, the 14-inch one, which is likely to be a popular choice. According to Apple, the old 13-inch MacBook Pro was their second best-selling laptop after the MacBook Air. This trend might continue with the new lineup. However, I'd like to test the base model to evaluate the impact of having only 8GB of RAM on modern computing. In Activity Monitor, I usually see my usage ranging from 12 to 14GB of RAM with web browsers, Slack and other applications open. Ultimately, the base 14-inch MacBook Pro appears to be a somewhat cynical move by Apple, similar to the 13-inch MacBook Pro. It caters to individuals seeking the Pro label, but may underestimate the limitations of insufficient memory, which could be a problem in the long run. When it comes to computers, I always recommend at least 16GB of RAM. While Apple claims its memory is more efficient than typical PC memory, it's important to remember that you can't upgrade the RAM on these systems. Unlike older MacBook Pros and Apple systems where you could buy a lower spec model and add more RAM later, that's not an option with these new models. This limitation is inherent in the mobile hardware architecture. But don't forget, you cannot upgrade RAM on these systems. Because the RAM is built onto the actual system chip, you can't add any down the line. That's different than older MacBook Pros and older Apple systems where you could buy a cheaper low-spec model in a year or two, throw some more RAM in there. That's just impossible. That's not going to change anytime soon. That's just the limits of running on mobile hardware at this point. It's something I've said for years, but it's still true. If you get at least 16GB of RAM in the system, it will last you a lot longer. It'll last you years. So funny enough, my advice when it comes to buying the MacBook Pro M3S really echoes what I said with the M2S and with the M1S. To be honest, don't buy the cheapest model. When you're looking at the rest of the lineup though, it's really hard to go wrong. The M3 chips are faster, they're more efficient, they get better battery life. It's everything I want in a computer upgrade. And it's also housed in some of the best cases you can find on the market today. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please be sure to like and subscribe and stay tuned to our channel for more laptop reviews.